Hi everyone, my name is Mark. I work at a company called Punchcard. We're actually just down the street at a co-op space called Unit B. What I'm going to show you today is an in-out board we call B-List. It is a Bluetooth enabled in-out board. It uses Bluetooth LE and it finds out who's in the office just based on the MAC address for their Bluetooth. So you can see that Mark and Eston are here, and just so I could show you how it works, I've turned my Bluetooth on. Once I turn that on, my little icon will switch over to in. It does take a few minutes, or approximately 30 seconds to register. It's running on a Pi, so we've got the Raspberry Pi at the front of the office hooked up to a monitor with this display on it, and a second Pi in the back of the office just to cover better Bluetooth coverage, just because Bluetooth LE doesn't cover the whole office. You could put as many Pis as you want on this, just the way we've designed it. Basically, there's three parts. There's a detector, an API, and a web interface, which you're seeing here, and there I popped in. So the detector is using Python, unfortunately. You can blame Eston for that one, he built it. And I'll just kind of show you some of the code. So Python, we're using PyBlues for the Bluetooth detection. Basically, it calls out to the API on line 36, gets all the known MAC addresses, so we're not just querying everybody on the street. Does the lookup name, which actually queries the name of the device, so you can get that back. If it comes back with the result, then it sends a post off to the API saying, hey, I found you, and records the time that it found the person at. If not, it just outputs onto the console, and then does that in a loop every 15 seconds. It goes through and checks everybody again. The one thing I did find with the lookup name here is that you kind of have to play with that timeout. So depending how many Bluetooth devices are around and how close they are to the detector, changes how long that timeout has to be. So I actually changed it to 4 seconds while I was in here, because I noticed when it was running that Mark wasn't showing up from the back of the room. Which you can kind of see here is just the raw output. So yeah, if you are ever using any of the Bluetooth stuff and you notice that it just doesn't seem to be picking anything up, try and increase your timeout. The API is kind of where most of the code is. It's a fairly small app. So here we're using Express. And you can see we're actually hosting the website through this project as well. Probably a good idea to refactor this, but it's just a hack day project, so we didn't. We called this API, but we're hosting the website as well. So we init the storage, which is just a local storage. Set up any logging, which currently is just going to the console output, and then set up our routing. So the different endpoints that we have available, get users, that just gets a list of users for the website to display. Post user, so that is what we use. We just use Postman to save data to this right now. So that's what you use to save a new user onto the app, and then delete is to get rid of someone if they leave or you don't like them anymore or something. And then post Bluetooth, that's what actually, it sends the MAC address and saves the time on the Pi, and then get MAC address is just an array of the known MACs so that you can query through them using that lookup name. And then just listening on port 310. The website, we're actually just using raw HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for this one. We tried to use an Angular framework, but the guy in the office who picked one that was really, really big, and it had 100 files, and it just took forever to get it on the Pi and running. So we ditched that and rewrote it in raw HTML. So rather than any of the fancy stuff, literally just taking out like a jQuery get div and insert inner HTML. And then we use TypeScript for the back end of the web page.
Mark, I know you can't see me 1 minute left.
Okay. So the web page, it just fetches the list of users, it parses that list, and then renders the UI. So you can see that's on there twice. We just wanted it so that especially when you're testing, when you bring the web page up, it shows something right away rather than waiting the data refresh rate, which I think is a minute right now. The only kind of neat thing in there was the get status. So we're just determining whether somebody's in or out of the office based on when they were last seen you. So if you were seen 30 seconds ago, you're in. If you were seen 90 seconds ago, you're out. And that's just based, we can change that via the config at the bottom. So it is up on GitHub. I'll probably post that on the Gitter afterwards, the link to that. If you guys want to check it out and play with it if you would. Cool.
Thanks for watching. Exchange.js is Edmonton's JavaScript meetup. Subscribe for all our videos, then stay informed by following us on Twitter and meetup.com. Links in the description. Thanks to our sponsors, Jobber and Clio. Do your part to support the meetup and like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.